What are we doing?
Bring her here.
That looks very hot.
Now secure the lids.
My name is Ratchet. I'm a nurse now. At the hospital where I work, a woman was locked in a bathtub and scalded with boiling water. The temperature rose quickly. She started screaming, a piercing, agonizing sound that almost made my skin crawl. I stood beside her, eyes fixed on her struggle. But I felt no sympathy. She had to endure 20 minutes of this, followed by 5 minutes in an ice bath. Only then could she be cured. Her cries of pain gave me a strange, cold satisfaction. Every time her voice reached a higher pitch, I felt a surge of pleasure. She was in so much pain she could barely breathe, nearly dying. But as I looked at her twisted face, I didn't flinch. I knew she was close to the edge, and the pressure inside me finally had somewhere to go. The treatments at this psychiatric hospital are a nightmare. I've seen them with my own eyes. Doctors drilling holes into patients' skulls and scooping out their frontal lobes, or jabbing ice picks into their eye sockets and smashing their brains with a single hammer blow. Watching the patient's eyes go blank, their bodies go stiff. I felt an odd satisfaction. I felt no guilt. In fact, I welcomed the silence that followed. Outsiders would say, they're cured, the lunatics are calm now. But I knew the truth. These treatments turned people into vegetables. Even the other nurses couldn't take it. Some ran off to throw up, but not me. I stood there, staring at everything, feeling a rush of excitement and fulfillment. I even led the applause at the end of one miracle treatment. After each procedure, the patients were silent, their minds erased, and that gave me a powerful sense of control. Watching their pain and despair, I felt as if I held some indescribable power. Weeks ago, I traveled far to apply for a job at this hospital. I waited for hours, only to be bluntly rejected by the director. I was filled with resentment and rage, so much that it felt unbearable. But I didn't back down. On the contrary, the fire inside me only grew stronger. The next day, the governor came to visit. I stole a nurse's uniform and slipped into the hospital. My heart was pounding, every cell in my body buzzing with tension and excitement. I knew this was my only chance. I had to take it. I snuck into the pharmacy and switched a patient's medication. As expected, the patient exploded into a violent episode. Watching his suffering, I felt nothing. I stepped forward and put on a brilliant show of emergency care in front of everyone. The governor praised my calm response and even showcased me personally. I knew I had earned her trust. The doctors had no choice but to let me stay, but I also knew the moment the governor left, they'd kick me out. So I had to act fast. I had to begin my plan. I targeted a severely depressed patient and began pushing her towards suicide. I told her there was a sharp letter opener on the doctor's desk, then took her into his office. Not long after, her body was found. The doctor fell into a panic, completely unmoored. I calmly approached him and said, "You go keep the governor calm. I'll take care of the body." My voice was flat, like I was dealing with something routine. But inside, I was nearly giddy. The body was quietly cremated, and I stayed on. Every move was like acting in a meticulously staged play, and I played the role of the one who controlled it all. I didn't do all this for the job. I had a secret buried deep inside. A secret that would come out, no matter the cost. A week ago, 4 priests were brutally murdered, slaughtered in a bloodbath. When I heard the news, I was shaken, but quickly regained my composure. That massacre felt... I knew who did it, my brother. I would stop at nothing to save him, even if it meant infiltrating this hospital. But things were worse than I thought. My brother had been locked in a cage, handcuffed even in the shower, guarded at all times. Seeing him like that, my anxiety and helplessness only grew. grew. Worse still, a witness had seen it all, and her testimony could destroy him. I was filled with dread. To save my brother, I got close to the witness, gained her trust, and took her to a motel. I told myself everything was under control. I drugged her tea. As soon as she drank it, she passed out. Watching her lose consciousness, I felt nothing. It was like fate. What came next was simple. I picked up the ice pick and hammer and stepped closer. She was tied to the bed. I brought the ice pick near her eye. I could hear my own heartbeat, so calm, so steady. Every emotion buried, only cold logic remained. This was a lobotomy, blunt and brutal. One strike and she became a living corpse, silent forever. The doubts, the problems, all vanished. With the witness gone, I still needed the doctor's cooperation. As long as he signed a psychiatric evaluation, my brother could be saved. I told my brother how to fake a mental illness, but he did too well. The doctor grew suspicious. Things became more complicated. Certification never came, and the death sentence loomed closer. I had to act. By chance, I learned the doctor's dark secret. Years ago, a wealthy woman had hired him to treat her bipolar son. But during therapy, the son drugged the doctor with a massive dose of hallucinogens. They both went mad. When they woke, the son was a paralyzed vegetable. The doctor disappeared. The rich woman sent a bald hitman to hunt him down. That hitman lived next door to me. I came up with a plan. I told the doctor, then took the bald man to find him. That night, the bald man broke into the hospital, but the doctor was ready. He knocked him out with a brick. When the man woke up, he was locked in a bathtub. The water grew hotter, scalding his skin. Watching him struggle filled me with an inexplicable pleasure. He broke free, only to run straight into a security guard who shot him dead on sight. I watched as the body was burned in the incinerator. The thrill inside me grew stronger. Now the doctor was in too deep. He had no choice but to agree to write the psychiatric report for my brother. That day happened to be the hospital's spring dance, open to staff and patients. I found my brother. The plan was for him to fake a breakdown in front of everyone, to prove he was insane, and at least delay his execution. But things didn't go as planned. My brother had his own agenda. He'd fallen for a young nurse. They planned to run away together. At the dance, my brother pulled a blade. The guards didn't react in time. He stabbed one. The nurse pulled a gun from her dress, forcing everyone to back against the wall. Together, they escaped. They hid in a warehouse and spent a sleepless night. The next morning, the police caught up. The nurse was shot dead on the spot, and my brother was captured again. The public was outraged. To gain votes, the governor decided, insanity or not, my brother had to die. To calm the crowd, the governor ordered an electric chair execution to give him a quick death. My brother was shackled, strapped to the chair. He was a condemned man, awaiting final judgment. Outside, people gathered to watch. His body trembled, terrified. Everything was ready. The governor pulled the switch. Electricity surged through him. The sound was piercing. His body convulsed, but he didn't die immediately. The pain was unbearable. His skin began to smoke. His body looked like it was on fire. The crowd fled, unable to bear the sight. By the time the switch was pulled again, he was unrecognizable, burned alive. I went to the head nurse and got a lethal injection. If he had to die, at least I could spare him the agony. But something unexpected happened. A patient with dissociative identity disorder lost control. His doctor personality took over. He claimed my brother was his patient and had to be taken away. The orderly tried to stop him. He shot the orderly dead. The head nurse, terrified, took him to the dungeon and freed my brother. The madman scared her senseless, but my brother stayed calm. Before they left, my brother asked, "Where's my sister?" Why is it a lunatic saving me? The head nurse nearly broke down. He pressed her for my plan. She took a deep breath and told him the truth. When my brother learned I had planned to kill him, his eyes filled with disappointment. He said nothing, just turned and walked away. He had someone dispose of the guards and drove off fast. On the road, he passed by me. Watching him go, I knew I had lost him forever. Years later, in a small town near the Mexico border, I was with a friend when we saw a newspaper. It reported a nurse killer case. 7 nurses slaughtered. As I read it, my face went pale. Just then the phone rang. I knew it was my brother back for revenge.